let's go to errors. And yes, in programming language that we have generally, that the two types of the errors, that the compilation errors and the logical errors, and also in C sharp that we are going to, we can meet with this kind of errors. And if we divide them, that we have syntax error. If we type wrong something, that it will show the syntax errors. And next week, I think next week we are going to discuss something more about errors, and we are going to manage it with try and catch blocks, code blocks. That the logic errors can be hardest to track down, and of course that the solution you can see some solutions program will work, but the result will be wrong, and because of that, it is that need to be careful about it. And the compilation errors, runtime errors, of course, that we are going to manage this kind of errors, that the runtime errors using try catch blocks on next week. I think on next week, arithmetic errors, it's also important, and dividing by zero or any other kind of arithmetic errors that we are going to discuss. And commands is also very important in C sharp programming language. And commands can be used to explain C sharp code and to make it more readable, more understandable what you are going to do, actually, that what will be done in the code part. It is important that to remind for you and to remind to other developers. It's important. And we can use single line commands, uh, or we can use multi-line commands. Single line commands is in C sharp that the double start with two forward slash, that this one here that you can see in this example. uh, it is actually will not execute by the editor, but it will show an information commenting to you and to other developers. Multi-line commands that we can use in C sharp, multi-line commands using forward slash star. It starts and then it ends with star and forward slash symbol, that you can write multiple line command. It's good programming practice commenting code parts, short description of code part. That in C sharp, in Visual Studio, you can select, for example, if you need to commenting some part that already, if you have already code that if you've written, and then you can select it, and then if you press Control key and C, that for commenting, and for uncommenting, Control K and U in Visual Studio, and also in Visual Studio Code, it's the same. That the highlighted, selected, or selected code. Um, Variables and data types in C sharp, we use it everywhere, actually. Today, when you use a game, for example, you enter your name and it takes this name and use it as a variable. It assigned to a variable, or one will log in, for example, that the passwords, and then we use, of course, that the variable names, and it's stored in a location, and so on. Also, in this form, for example, when we write the values and when we send it to database, for example, also it stores in a table. But when we get it, it's also that we can it assigned to a variable, or something like that, that we are going to see later. And the variable is a location in the computer memory where a value can be stored for a use by program. And another definition is variable is a memory place in which you can store a value and from which you can later retrieve that value. And this is temporary storage. When we assign, when we write application, that the program or code, we for example, we assign a value when we run application, and it is uses that the temporary memory. It uses in the RAM. Of course, when we stop the execution, then this value is disappear if we get it from user. Yeah, it is. You can think like a box, and value that we assign it, it is inside box. That what we have. Of course, it can be number, it can be text, that the string, or boolean, or yeah, later that we are going to see some different um, data structure, array, list, and so on. Also, that we are going to create our types using classes and the variables in C sharp that can be, of course, that we need to assign. We need to show what type of the variable. Int, it stores the integers. Double, it stores the floating point numbers, and also we can use float for it. Char, it stores single characters, just one character between single quotation, and the string stores the text between double quotation, that everything will be string, and the boolean that stores the values with two status. It's true or false. Yeah, in C sharp that we write it with lowercase letters, and some programming languages use the first letter is uppercase. In C sharp that we all the correct all the letters are lowercase letters. Yes, when we declare the variables, that we need to declare the type, int, string, and the variable name, and equal value, and then semicolon. It is exact that the example is here. For example, string, name, and John. Or of course that we can get information from user, and then we can show it on the screen like this. And also it can be numbers like this, or we can assign directly here that using when we declare it, and then we can assign the value. But also we can assign first, we can declare it. Sorry, we can declare it first, and then we can assign it anywhere when we need. It is also possible in C sharp. Um, yes, of course that we can update the value. For example, starting value is 15, and then we can update it. It is possible in C sharp. And the variable rules that have to be camel case, not have to be, it's just good coding practice, of course, that need to be understand for all developers, that this is a variable. Camel case means that if it's first just one word, then all of the letters are lowercase letters. If it contains that two or more words, and then second, third, and the other words are starts with uppercase letters, that the camel case. Have to be English letters, cannot start with number, should be suitable name, not too long, not too short. It shouldn't be too long, and shouldn't be special words or keywords, C sharp keywords. Um can start with letter or underscore, but not cannot start with numbers. Can contain letters, digits, and underscore. Good coding exercise using camel case when you declare the variable names. Okay, that the constants also that you can use const if you want to uh, that the read only that we can see read only. Of course, that we have also that the read only. Later we are going to see that we can define some methods or some variables as a read only. But it's also that we cannot change the value if we use as a const here, that we assign the my num is 15, and if we try to change it in application anywhere, then the editor will show an error. We cannot change, we cannot assign a new value to this constant, that we can say unchangeable.